Transit TV, welcome back to our AFCON studios. We just saw Nigeria qualify and en route to their fourth AFCON Cup winning after overcoming South Africa in a very dramatic, as we have seen in so many games in this tournament, dramatic game that ended in a 1-1 draw in regular time and extra time, and Nigeria overcame South Africa through penalties. This game, I know many thought that Nigeria was going to overrun South Africa, considering the history between these two teams. But South Africa had a different proposition for the Super Eagles in this game, who took a lead through a penalty that was won by their star man Victor Osimhen and converted by the captain of the team, AFCON. South Africa themselves came back to through a penalty as well, which was won in the second half of the game. Yeah, look, watching this game, the first half, as Choma will have it in the studios, the word on the street was that Super Eagles was not playing well. Many were talking about the midfield. The players could not hold on to the ball and stuff like that. But looking at the game, I was just talking to my man Ogum, who is with me here today to look at this game. Sometimes in football, little elements in a team can, change all the whole dynamics of the team. In this game, so far in the tournament, the coach for me has been playing a back three and a mid five, 2 wing backs, 2 midfielders, and 3 midfielders. But in this game, he went for a flat 4, playing as a right back, and I think Bassi on the left side of the defense. Now, this meant that he had to move Iwobi to the left side of the midfield, playing Onyeka as a DM. For me, Onyeka is not a defensive midfielder; he's a box-to-box midfielder. So he kept going forward and left a gap between the midfield and the defense of the Nigeria. And South Africa saw this and was using that space to terrorize the Nigerian defense. But of course, we know that the defense has been very good in the tournament for Nigeria, and they were able to hold their own throughout the first half. And Super Eagles struggled because of this little change in their dynamics. And for me, this was one of the reasons why Nigeria struggled in this game, because we know them as a very defensively strong team, not because the defenders are just good. They are, of course, but the way the team was set up was always to be strong defensively and try to hit teams on a counter, and they're using individual brilliance to get their goals. But the coach decided to go do otherwise in this game, and for me, that was the undoing of the team. Ugum, you are welcome to the show. What is your general overview of this game? This was a very dramatic one. I know it was tense for you. I've watched games with you live. I know how emotional and attached you can be to these things, and I hope you're able to survive and gather your thoughts for this one.
Yeah, that's a really good question, because I haven't gathered my thoughts 100% yet. I can barely breathe now. It was a terrifying very experience for me watching this game. The one that I was able to watch. Unfortunately for me, some of my feed watching the game wasn't quite good. But yes, you were on point with your analysis of the way the team was set up. Nigeria we were missing a Zaidu, who a lot of people have maligned and criticized for his performance so far in the tournament. But him not playing today, we could see that there was a reason for him to have started all the games he started. Bright Aside Samuel, I thought, was okay in the right back position. But of course, the chemistry that the team had built up, the balance that they had built up, their style of play was affected because they brought in someone with a different, different style, and the way the coach set them up was slightly different from what they were used to. So, but all the same, I didn't think South Africa, watching the commentary and listening to the commentator, he kept saying South Africa were dominating the game and all that. I didn't see any dominance at all from South Africa. I thought Nigeria managed the game pretty well. Just just that Osimhen seemed to me like he wasn't 100%. I felt that he was struggling physically to be his usual bustling and imposing self. Again, Osimhen tried too hard in this game. I saw him miss chances that he easily put away in Italy. Um, I don't know. He should just calm down and continue playing the way he has played so far. Nigerians appreciate him, appreciate the work he's put in and the work he's putting in for the team. So even if without dominating the goal scoring charts, he's one of the major reasons that Nigeria have gotten to the final. I'm delighted as a Nigerian fan. I thought the game wasn't the easiest to watch. Credit to South Africans, their coach showed that he knows what he's doing. He's an experienced man. He's done this for a long time. He's been successful at this level before. And so he brought that to bear, the way he built up his team. South Africa came across to me as a very hardworking team. And you see the chemistry they had built up, most of them coming from the same clubs. Only two clubs in South Africa, really. So they showed their mettle. Their goalkeeper showed, excellent handling of the ball. Nigerians were quite fortunate to win this game by penalties. Yes, that's really my summary of the game.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that. One of the things that for me, just like you rightly said, I know a lot of people or Nigerians criticize the Super Eagles or feel that they don't really hold on to the ball very well. But like you rightly mentioned there, in all the games that they have played, I think they have out created chances against all the opponents. I don't think any opponent has had more chances against Nigeria than Nigeria has had against them. You're looking at this game, I don't know how people watch games. They watch it for the aesthetics and the flicks and trails. But when you really look at the technicalities of this game, there was at no point that Nigeria was in danger of like losing or conceding anything in this game, apart from after substitutions. And of course, that guy, for me, it was a very lazy swing of the foot right there. He knew he was in the box. The swing was too lazy and too wide. So other than that, I don't think there was any time Nigeria was really in danger of conceding or losing this game. The only thing that another thing I noticed that it really needs to be commended was the goalkeeper, not just for the penalty. Nwabali, of course, showed that he played in South Africa. He understood the way they play football, their style. And he played the sweeper role for Super Eagles and did it very, very well throughout the 19 and 120, which helped Nigeria, because I know that AFCON, aside looking at he has an injury, is not really a very pacey defender. Bassi, I don't think he's very rapid as well. So in the middle of our defense, there was always going to be a threat in behind. And Nwabali was always in hand anytime South Africa tried to go long to sweep whatever that was a danger to the Super Eagles. So for me, he, apart from saving two penalties, I think he deserves a lot of praise for the way he played. The only place I know he made an error was when he parried the ball in front of the striker, which South Africa, somehow lost. Then in the second half, the Super Eagles looked as if they listened to the fans, tried to dribble, hold on to the ball. And for me, that was an error. They couldn't do it. They were making a lot of mistakes in the beginning of the second half because they tried to change their style of play, tried to be a little bit selfish and individualistic in their approach, which played into South African hands. But midway into the second half, I think they went back to their usual principles and were able to manufacture things that could hurt South Africa. But of course, eventually we know how it ended. After that lazy swing by the substitute, what's his name? Or what's that guy's name? I can't remember. Yusuf. And brought South Africa back into the game. Of course, at that point in time, if you are a Super Eagles team, you really need some very strong leadership on the pitch to get the players in the right mentality to finish up the game, which they struggled to do. South Africa was on high. That was the only time there was, for me, any kind of tension against Nigeria, because at that moment, the momentum swung to to Bafana Bafana, and they tried to utilize it, but somehow, the game finished in a draw and went to extra time. So I don't know what you made after the first half. Did you think? I think the substitutions. What do you think about the substitutions that were made by the Super Eagles coach?
I think they were not very good. They were not very good substitutions. The first ones he made. I don't think removing Iwobi and removing Moses Simon was a really good move. Iwobi is the heartbeat of the team. And again, Nigerians criticize Iwobi. It's almost like a scapegoat for them. I even saw people still commenting on this same game. I'm saying that there's no midfield. When Nigeria was getting passes in and here and there, but immediately they removed Iwobi, the structure fell apart. It became a problem. Moses Simon has been very good in this tournament too. I am a big critic of his, but he really impressed me with the way he's played in this tournament. So yeah, those substitutions really put pressure on the team. We couldn't link up between the defense and attack anymore like we used to. But for me, the worst one was removing Lukman. Lukman is such a cerebral and important player. And the time they took him up, I took him up and replaced him with Joe Aribo, who, the physicality required wasn't there to move our attack forward. But, in any case, Nigeria has been able to win, in spite of all that. The coach, please, needs to really buck up his ideas. He needs to be, yes, I know he's quite conservative and he's brought him so far, but let there be some balance. You don't have to always go defensive, or as a first instinct. The team is already defensively solid. Using defense again to always approach everything, I don't think is the best.
Yeah, I'm with you on those substitutions. First of all, like Iwobi's own was for me premature. Though Iwobi struggled in this game a little bit for me. The reason why I say that, and obviously because I think he was played more in the left side of the midfield, not as a winger but as a midfielder. So he kind of struggled. And like I said, we didn't have a defensive midfielder in this game. Somebody that could sit behind them, and that was what Iwobi was doing in other games. And I believe the coach walked away from what had brought the team success up to this point. I don't know if he was listening to the words on the street, as Choma will have it, that what Nigerians wanted. He had been very pragmatic all to the tournament. I don't know how all of a sudden at this stage he decided to walk away from what brought him to this stage and try to change stuff. For me, he was lucky to escape today because of those changes that were made. Because for me, he should have stuck with what brought them to this point and try to make it work. So I hope that in the finals he will go back to what the Super Eagles have done all to the tournament to get to where they were. Because in that one, Onyeka played a little bit further. He was the charging midfielder, while he will be sat in the middle of the park, try to mop up any danger that comes, pick up second balls and stuff like that. But in this game, there was a very big hole between our midfield and our defense. Our defenders tried, even though we played the high line, but they still drop off because they lie in the center of our defense. We don't have pace. So those, and I think AFCON is carrying an injury. So South Africa found that space and they tried to use it. Unfortunately, technically, I don't think they are better than Nigeria, so they couldn't capitalize on those deficiencies. In terms of, like we have said in these studios for many times on this coverage, throughout the tournament, you cannot deny there are just very few games or very few teams you will say we are not very combative, spirited, and committed in the matches. This game today also showed, but what we have been seeing up to the tournament, the players are committed. They are really fighting for their nations, and they tried as much as they can, especially physically, to win for their nations and for their team. And that we saw again today between Nigeria and South Africa. So I think for me, the coach needs to try and go back to his basic principles that has kept the team ticking up to this point. Nigeria, like I said, the ingredients that I saw after the first game that made me make a call that they will go all the way to the finals is still there. It's just that the coach adjusted the dynamics of the team today, and it kind of almost backfired. I hope that he will go back to those principles and get the team to win the tournament. Right now, between DR Congo and Cote d'Ivoire, I don't think Nigeria should, for me, I will put my money on Nigeria to win the tournament at this stage. Let's talk about VAR. You know, in EPL, which is the most watched league in the world as we speak, sometimes debates come up as if VAR has been a problem to the league. I think for me personally, VAR AFCON has shown that VAR has no problem. That is just the application, the way it's being used. I don't know if you share these thoughts.
I shared some sentiments. Yes, VAR has been excellent in this tournament. I don't think there's any single debatable decision that they've made. Well, most of the decisions are always debatable, but I don't think there's any single unproven or wrong decision that the VAR had made. I'm Nigerian, and I saw what happened with my only problem or concern with that goal, the circumstances for Nigeria's this one was that they had gone and scored a goal at the other end, right? But if you really think about it, that's what VAR. The goal shouldn't have happened in the first place because that foul happened. The foul should have been called. So that's where VAR comes in. It may take time. It's just like we will say justice was not denied. Justice may be delayed, but it should never be denied, right? So that's what VAR is for. So yes, I completely agree that VAR has been amazing in this tournament. It shows what the intent was or is for FIFA from the word go to have it come in and make the right decisions. So yes, I agree with you.
Yeah. On that goal, of course, you can agree with me that it was still the same phase. So there's no way the referee would have stopped. As long as he didn't call it live, there's no way he will stop it until the game has to come to a halt before he can, VAR can interject in the game. So that's the only reason why Nigeria got that goal. Because if there had been break in play, I'm sure VAR would have the VAR would have called attention of the referee, which they did once they had the opportunity. Unfortunately, Nigeria had already scored a goal at that point, and Peter Osimhen did that goal badly. I really felt for him when the VAR call was made. So yeah, if you're a Nigerian fan out there, supporter out there, it's a good day. I know it was a tensed one. For me, I wasn't really tensed until South Africa equalized their goal, and of course the momentum swung their way. Those last 5 minutes of the first 90 was really, really a very tense one for anybody that was rooting for Nigeria. Somehow they surmounted it, and they eventually won the game through penalties. And congratulations, Super Eagles! Congratulations, Nigerians! And the Super Eagles are on their way to lifting the fourth AFCON in their history. This is it's a special time, including me. Yours faithfully, I was not rooting. I didn't have any confidence in the Super Eagles before the tournament. I wasn't going to be interested in what they do or what they did. But after watching the first game, I made up my mind that this team was going to go to the finals because I saw some very, very unignorable elements in their game and the principles that they adopted. I felt that those were very, very important if any team wants to win a championship. And like I tell people, this tournament is 7 games to leave the trophy. So it's not the one that you try to build a kind of tantalizing philosophy. You just find a way to win games. That's all it takes. So congratulations, Super Eagles. Ugom, I don't know if you have any parting words for the fans and the players out there.
Yeah, congratulations to our national team. Really, really happy for them. Really, really happy for all Nigerians. I'm sure people are rejoicing. And I wish also that people stay safe in South Africa and all the stuff that we've heard about the xenophobic attacks and all that doesn't happen this time. It's, football is a game that unites and it shouldn't divide us, shouldn't become violent as a result of it. So on to the final. Let's keep it locked on Transit TV.
Yes, I agree with you. That's true. There are some graphics coming in during and before the game, things that happened in South Africa this morning. Some very hostile graphics coming out from there. We commiserate with the people who are victims and appeal to the government officials out there to help ensure that people and their properties are safe. Being a Nigerian shouldn't be a crime, and football, like we mentioned, is a unifying sport and not one that causes violence or division. People should be allowed to enjoy the success of their teams, regardless of where they are and where they are from. So we commiserate with people. We hope that lives were not lost. It was just a normal or not too serious issues over there in South Africa. So, guys, like Ibu said, lock it on here. Transit TV will promise to bring you insights and highlights of these games as they come. We will move on to the second semi-final between DR Congo and Cote d'Ivoire, who are the host of the tournament, who have done a magnificent job of hosting the tournament. The stadiums have been very, very scintillating, both crowd control, the facilities, and the quality of their hosting is top notch. One of the best I've seen so far in the history of AFCON. They are playing right now against DR Congo. Nigeria is, of course, jubilating and waiting for either of them. Presently, that game is going on and it's 0-0. And we will also bring you coverage, highlights, and insight analysis of that game as soon as the game ends. Thank you for sticking with us. Transit TV, we are out. Ciao, guys.